Good day. Welcome back to the channel. Previous video there on the R15 mentioned we'd go into depth on what we're going to change on the YH12. Apparently I'm turning the fan on. Battery's still connected. Good to know. So this is a YH12, which is a Repower R319 underneath. It's the 13.5 horsepower Briggs, single cylinder, air cooled, a gas engine, and a single hydraulic pump. This is, again, and I've said this before in a different video, this machine is like the entry level for Ripa / Joy T5. Now the YardHoe name is a name that Joy T5 have, so it is exclusively theirs as a YardHoe YH12. This is technically a 1-ton. The tag says it weighs 1,200 kilograms. I really doubt that. So that's one of the first things we need to add. We need to add some weight to it. This does not have the expandable undercarriage, nor will it ever get it. I'm not changing that. The blade will get some modifications. We'd like to bring it up a little bit, kind of like a guard / meshed area, because I do find I use it quite a bit, and some of my background is dozer work, so I do really like a blade for pushing soil or doing a little final touch up on something. I'm more of a blade person than a bucket person. The other thing we'd like to do is paint it. Take it all apart and paint her down. We don't know a color yet. We have three options. Three options. Yeah, that we want to kind of go with. I'm thinking, or we're thinking, and we'll throw a poll up for you viewers there to help us decide. It's all black, all gloss black. That might look really smart. The Tahoe champagne, metallic gold champagne color, and I'll throw a picture in of the Tahoe just to refresh everybody's memory and what that looks like, especially in like that kind of golden hour, just after golden hour sunset. Oh, looks great. Or in Eva blue, which again, that's metallic automotive paint as well. So that'll be a lot of prep work, because I do find this powder coaty paint, whatever it is, it doesn't really hold up very well, and it doesn't clean off nicely either. So it'd be nice to have, proper paint, proper primer, proper clear coat, be able to upkeep the machine, plus have a way to touch it up with a color match. Because right now I'm just using a yellow paint pen for marking like oil filters and things, and it's close enough for now. That's just the aesthetics part of it. The some other things we're going to change too, and we'll go around and look, but quickly I'll mention it. The seat is thrashed, and that's my own fault. And when we look at it closer, I'll explain why that's my own fault. Cooling fans, or cooling fan, I'd like to relocate that inboard more. And then obviously we're going to replace the engine with that single cylinder diesel. But let's do a walk around and I'll show you the exact points which we're going to change and why. Alrighty, so now we're in a bit of a close-up mode here. Yeah, this is what I'm saying about the paint. See, like these rust marks and stuff. And yeah, there's the paint pen yellow. So it does good enough for now, but it'd be nice to, get a proper color on it. Now let's start with the seat and we'll work around. Okay, so the seat, I did this in. There. See? That's not supposed to be a thing. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, and I got a little happy on pulling on some roots, and that is why my thumb is like this. because, you know, you got your hand on the controls, doing your thing, and then next thing I know, I'm at the back of the boom. So 2 things there. 1, I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, and 2, I was using the wrong attachment. I was using the rake when I should have been using the single root pick. So, you know, word to the wise. Seatbelts. And I'm sure I've said it before, but do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. Yeah, we'll go with that. The other reason the seat, we want to get her replaced here too, like, see the fasteners are rusted and it's kind of, I don't know. It'd be nice to have something better with a little more back support. I don't necessarily need something that folds down. Like the seat on the R15 is just fine, you know. But we'll find a nice one and put it on here. Possibly something with some armrests or something like that. Another thing, somewhere on this machine, cup holder, because you gotta stay hydrated while you're working. We already have, like, this is blank, it doesn't do anything. This is blank and doesn't do anything. And this is the headlights, so that, or the headlight. Well, this has got 2 now. So that can stay. Throttle will stay. This will stay. And as we come around the back, well, actually, you know what, before we do that, the fan. So you can see it, this splits the fan. So what I'd like to do is to go to 2 smaller ones and offset them to the back, or if they fit in the front, do that, as well as do the hydraulic cooler kit that you can get on Amazon or whatnot, which also comes with a fan. That'll definitely help this. And I believe it was the garage connection does it all for all the auction machines. So that was kind of my thought here, is if he can get that done for the auction machines, we can find a way to make it fit on a, you know, a better quality machine. Hydraulic tank is plastic, it'll stay. I like the mesh, I like the venting here. Coming around the back, this will be converted to a door type idea when the diesel goes in. The other thing we're going to do too is this area here, you can see where it's like depressed in. We're going to cut that out and just get the same kind of mesh. Part of that too is the exhaust will have to be relocated somewhere for the diesel once that comes in. We're not sure where yet, but I don't think it'll come out in the same spot. So that little piece might end up getting nipped out and a new piece of mesh put in. Ideally, I would like the exhaust to just kind of point down out the bottom of the machine. I don't know, I just find it's quieter that way. And we'll see. You know, we until it's all apart, we won't really know. Like, this is an experiment. We don't know if this is going to work for sure. And if it works for sure, then hey, awesome. You guys will see how it's done, and you can do it yourself, or possibly even bring your machine to us and we'll upfit it. Maybe, but that's way down the road. So, but yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it in there, but there is room. At the same point in time, though, there isn't enough room for that Briggs to pull cold air in anywhere, really. Now, I do want to stress, these aren't a commercial machine. Like, don't sit on them for, 4 or 5 hours at a time kind of deal. And that's what I've been doing with it. So part of this is probably my own problem, but the other part of it is too, I want this machine to be running the same fuel and everything as the R15, which makes my life easier, right? So coming around, we're going to figure out exactly what this fiberglass duct thing does. Probably be a fan there or something at some point. Depending battery switch is going to get changed. This one is, it's loose inside here, and it kind of cuts out every now and then. It's actually stopped the hour meter. Wow, English. Hour meter from registering properly, so it's got more hours on it than it says. And I've said it before, there's a new fuel cap coming. And then this is the fuel tank breather, which with the diesel, I think we can get away with not having this, but we'll see. We'll see. The other thing we'd like to do too is just like the other side. We'd like to, all this area that's depressed in, we're going to cut her open, put the mesh in, maximum airflow, maximum, ability for everything to breathe, because your hydraulic pump is right here. And really, if that could breathe a little, that would make life a lot easier as well. And then behind here, right about that area, is the battery. But it would also be nice to be able to, wash through the mesh, wash the machine off. I like to keep them clean. So, as we come up here, we do have the voltmeter and the hour meter. I don't know if I'm going to put something else in here. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. Sure. But this, see how loose that is? That's got to be tied down better. We've got to figure that out better. Which shouldn't be that hard. But I don't want to just put screws in it or anything. I want to, have a nice, maybe like a piece of foam or something in between. Or I want to do something nicely where you don't see it. And the floor mat here, you can see it's taken some wear and tear. Right? Like that's okay. That happens. It's just from like boots and shoes and stuff scuffing on, like, rubbing on it and whatnot. But I would like to take a piece of that rubber-backed outdoor carpet that comes in like blue or black or whatever. You can get at like Costco or Home Depot or whatever. And cut it out in that pattern and run that. Because underneath this, if we look, I don't know if you can see it, see the silver marks coming through? It's from these. I don't like that. So we're going to change that, make it better. The tracks are good. I might go to the metal tracks with the bolt-on rubber pads that are available from Joey T5. If you look at their video on the 13, the R13 has got them on it. It'll add a little bit more weight, but I think it'll do less damage to like grass and areas because it doesn't have these lugs. Right? They're not lugs. They're nice rounded, straight across, kind of curved pads. So that will be a thing there too. We'll get the decals made up in whatever color kind of complements whatever color this machine ends up. I need to service that. I need to do some work on that. It's kind of loose. And that is one thing I do want to bring up actually quickly about these machines. I find the mechanical quick hitch has a lot more play in it than the hydraulic quick hitch. That is, just get one. Just spend the money and get the hydraulic quick hitch. Just do that. Okay, rant over. Here we're going to get the quick connect. I said, a year ago I was going to do. But we're going to get those so they match with 15 and the attachments. What else here? We'll change the light. Oh, speaking of lights, yes, let's just quickly over to the other side. Yes, so this I put this in because I complained in a previous video that they didn't have a light down here, and there was the horn is here. Well, you're not loading out trucks. You're not firing out trucks or, working in areas where you need to warn people. This thing's louder than the second coming of God knows what. So you don't need that. So I put a light in there, flush mount light. I would like to take this panel off obviously when we paint it, and do some body work behind there, because it's horrible. I just slapped it in there with a grinder, and I didn't do a good job, and I should redo that, and I will redo that, because we're better than that. So with that walk around and more in-depth view on what we're going to change and what we're going to do with the machine done and out of the way there, it is a project. It's quite the project. It's not going to happen overnight. This is not going to be, blinking it's done. Parts are ordered currently. There are things that may come up in between now and parts getting there, or getting here, sorry, and the machine actually being done. There's always variables. One thing we're going to be very clear on here is we're going to disclose all of the costs in Canadian dollars to you. So what the engine cost, where I got it, what any individual little pieces cost, adapters or filters or whatever, the cooler kit and where I got that for the hydraulics, to be clear, the tracks. Obviously, those are going to come from YH12, but we'll tell you the price, because you need to factor in, is this going to be worth it? Because to get the R13, which is a little sister to that one, they're quite expensive. So is it going to be worth, in the long run, in the end, for us to convert this to diesel, throw some more maple syrup at it, do the tracks, do the coolers, do everything we need to do to it, versus buying the R13? My thought is we should be 5 to 7 grand below. 5 to 7 grand? No. 5 grand less. That's where I'm going to place my bet. 5 grand cheaper to take this machine and upfit it than buying the R13. Now, that being said, that's a fully kitted R13 with the swing boom, and we don't have the swing boom on this machine, so that's one area becomes kind of apples to oranges. Now, that's all kind of just minor details. We want to make sure that it's going to be worth it for us, but we also want to make sure that it's going to be worth it for you. If you're going to invest in doing the same thing that I'm doing, is it going to be worth it for you in the end? And we'll explore that together. We'll learn that together. We'll be as transparent with all the steps as we can be. The challenges we face, you're going to see the good, you're going to see the bad. I have a feeling I'm going to be banging my head against the wall quite a few times with this. But hopefully not. It is a fairly basic layout. Maybe we upgrade the hydraulic pump too. I'll have to talk to Arcady at YH12 there and see if there is an upgrade. Maybe what the pump that the R10 is running, or something like that. There's still some more research to be done, and again, we'll let you guys know how that all unfolds. Before we wrap this up, though, you hit that poll. What color are we doing this? Gloss black? Black on black on black? Are we doing champagne, the Tahoe champagne? Or are we doing Eva blue? We need to know what we're doing here. I'm split between two, and I'm not going to reveal which two those are. I'd like to see the results on the poll there. So, with that all said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Take care. And, we look forward to you coming along for the what I'm sure is going to be a ride for upgrading this to a diesel.